All right, good morning. We're going to give a few seconds here to see if anybody else is going to join us. We said we were going to do some live streams on Saturdays. We have a homesteading meeting we have to be to here pretty soon, so we're not going to be live streaming for very long, but wanted to touch bases with some of you, give our audience a chance to give some feedback on the things we're saying. I have the camera set up on the phone right now. Usually I use the large camera for doing live streams, but wanted to just do a quick live stream this morning before we had to leave for our homesteading meeting. So just again, started a little early just to give some time. And we are, I will be chatting as Backroad Reviews on the PC, which is next to me, the little laptop I have. So I should be able to read and keep up with all your comments. The issue with the lag, I typically don't use any live streaming services because the lag is so bad. We do have the ability to do multi-stream casting on OCX and using IP protocols for live streaming, which is more of a how real live streamers do it so that they can get feedback in real time. So feel free to give a shout out in the chat. I will be able to read them in live in real time as we're doing this. And I took my hat off for this presentation just because I don't want to have the brim covering my eyes or covering the camera because the camera is a little bit level or elevated. And wanted to make sure that the camera can see us and hear us. So if we're having audio troubles, please let us know. But typically in this fashion, we don't have any problems. Drinking some coffee. So Ozark Coffee Company, enjoying some brew from them. Got some grounds, and they are delicious. It's a medium ground, so pretty neat stuff. So we did have two live stream or two podcasts recorded this week. If you haven't found those, please go on to backroadshomesteading.com. You can see the podcast button or the tab up top, and you can see them all. If you just click on the podcast tab, it'll give you both of them in a, like, it'll be like a conglomerate listing of all the podcasts. If you click into each separate podcast, you can write comments on each of those separate podcasts. So if you want to be part of the discussion within those podcasts, we'd really like to have you there. For those of you who haven't subscribed to our free e-newsletter yet, that's where we will be giving away Goldbacks and products that we have reviewed from other companies that we may not need here on the homestead. We'll be giving away those products as well. So if you haven't noticed, we've had a good amount of feedback from the companies we work with for reviewing products on Backroad Reviews, which is who I'm typing as on the chat. And it's growing to the point where most of our review videos are done on Backroad Reviews and not on the Homestead channel. So the first videos you saw here with a lot of the reviews, unless it's homestead related and it's a really good product that we use all the time, we'll put that on the larger channel. But for the most part, the channel that we want to focus reviews on is Backroad Reviews. So definitely check that out, Backroad Reviews. on YouTube. It's good stuff. So yeah, enjoying some coffee. We had quite a bit of stuff happen this week. Apologies, the background is kind of messy, but this week we've had a lot of warmth throughout most of the Midwest. So a lot of us are enjoying warmer than usual temperatures. Down here in the Ozarks, it was in the 40s up to this almost, it hit 70 degrees yesterday. And for the beginning of February, that's ridiculous. Nice, but ridiculous. My wife, Jess, she got a mosquito in the car and it bit her twice in February. A mosquito. Like one alive mosquito in Arkansas, and she got it. So definitely amazing. Hopefully it cools back down again. Otherwise, we're going to have our issues with trees starting to bud and things coming alive when there's going to be imminent threat of frost and freeze yet, because we're only in February. So we're at a really hard time for growers. A lot of growers are very anxious and worried right now because thawing out too fast in the beginning of winter, middle of winter, could be detrimental if those trees start blooming or blossoming. The tree sap is running up the trees right now. We have our northern friends. The maple syrup is running. We're watching that happen. It's really cool to see that. And yeah, weird times. We had the Oklahoma had their 5 point whatever magnitude earthquake last night, along with a bunch of tremors, and some people in Arkansas here felt it. I was not awake enough to feel it. If we did feel it, I was already well sleeping by then. Usually I'm up by 4:30, and my bedtime is like not 11:30 when it hit. So Link might have felt it, but I'm not sure. So feel free to write on the chat if you have any specific topics you want to cover. Again, we'll be going to our homesteading meeting here in a few minutes, so we're not going to stay on for too long. But if you want to interact with us, we definitely will be trying to do live streams on Saturday mornings when we can. And I didn't put one up ahead of time. So again, I realize most of our network in our homesteading communities, they usually like notifications so they can put it on their schedules and be here. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles. I didn't think we were going to have enough time to do a live stream this morning, but I eked one in here anyway, knowing that we probably won't have too much interaction. The videos here are going pretty well. We did put some Google ads together. We did put some tweet ads together. So we do have a small advertising budget. So we are constantly looking at different metrics on, what people want to see, what people want to, what kind of videos we need to be producing. And so there's definitely, different things that we're putting out in that regard. We did some spray foaming yesterday for Link's room with the Vegas spray foam insulation kit, the purple foam, and it works pretty good. It's I've never used a spray foam before, so I know that they're kind of messy, and prep work is essential, and having your protective gear on is essential. So you may have seen some of the community posts where I was all, had all the safety gear on and vaporizer and all that stuff, the filters, which I haven't replaced those pucks in a while, so I'm not sure. It smelled okay in the mask, but um, having an aerosol filter was essential for that kind of a project. They give you like some rinky-dink mask, which is fine, but we try to keep those aerosols out of our lungs when we're doing that sort of thing, be it painting, linseed oil, whatever, any kind of volatile chemical that goes airborne. We want to protect our lungs when we can. So we do have those types of masks for that. Oh, what else? Let's see. So we have some videos on the spray foam kit we'll be reviewing. It worked really, really well. And that wasn't a paid review. That's, a lot of these things aren't paid reviews. We are reviewing products that we have around the homestead. And we do have the Amazon Influencer Program, as well as all of our affiliate links. And we'll be talking about how homesteaders can do this kind of stuff to supplement their income or to have another revenue stream available. Most homesteaders have some different revenue streams coming in to support that lifestyle, be it analog or digital. And we're going to delve into the actual core mechanics of both on-site revenue streams and digital revenue streams that can be used. I'm doing a lot of website work right now, so building websites for people and hosting websites is one of the things we do at Backroads Homesteading. And we're putting a studio site together specifically for that. And I talked with Just this morning. I'm like, I really would like to help homesteaders and farmsteads more than anything. And I think my community growing expertise would allow us to help a lot of people in that regard. So we want to do what we can to help that and help people. So the Backroads Studio site, which isn't made yet, will really zero in on the types of websites that will help support homesteads and farmsteads, and bringing in a membership or community program, bringing in the ability to have online sales that will work with point of sale systems, having blogs and podcasts, and what equipment would be used for that. There's a lot of different things we'll talk about in that regard on the studio side, on how to help homesteaders become successful and utilize those tools to reach their audience and share their story. So it's really neat getting the feedback from people on that kind of stuff. The Goldbacks continue to grow in popularity. And I was talking with one of our pastor friends on Facebook about, when society wants to no longer use the US dollar as it, they keep printing more and more of it, and against other world currencies, there's a major concern right now that the dollar will not be holding its value for very, very much longer. So I don't really get into a lot of the political stuff happening around the world on this channel. We will talk about some key issues, but those issues are going to have to relate to homesteading and how we talk about those issues to create goals within our homestead and execute those goals to meet the risk analysis that we talked about, with what we're identifying. So having a stable currency is essential, and those currencies are very limited. Over the last few years, we tried a number of different tactics. We have trade and barter systems between church groups and patriot groups and homestead groups and prepper groups. And that works, but it only works to a certain extent. And we found that the longer that system is in place, the more people stop sharing certain items. So everybody's going to need meat and produce and milk and the bare necessities, as well as, you know, protection seeds and that kind of stuff. And that kind of thing breaks down after a while because you only need so many heads of lettuce. And the meat farmer typically has an issue. Oh, good morning, Jason and Tara from White Rock. I'm surprised you had enough bandwidth to even get in over there, but you guys were saying that there's not much bandwidth issue there. So we're talking about trade systems right now and how our groups in Wisconsin had been doing this for a couple of years, trade and barter systems, and they work, but they break down eventually. So the Goldbacks that we've been talking about are real gold. And we found these a few weeks ago. This is 24 karat gold. This is a 5 Goldback. So it's, what is it? I don't have them all memorized. 1/200th of a troy ounce. So you have the 1s, 5s, 10s, 25s, and 50s. And this is real gold. You can melt this down and it looks freaking amazing. This system of trade, while the barter system will be primary, having some unit of currency is going to be essential for long-term trade or trading things that don't have equal value. So let's say I'm going to go over to Jason and Tara's place and I'm going to trade, you know, half a pig, and they're going to trade me Tara's 58,000 tomatoes. Okay, well, I don't need all those tomatoes. I might need a dozen or a bushel, but I'm going to have to have some unit of measurement to equalize that trade if you're doing things like pork or beef or chicken, that kind of thing. So putting in like, okay, I'm going to give you, 100 pounds of pork. You're going to give me a couple dozen tomatoes and, 25 Goldbacks, which would equate to roughly a fair trade. So the Goldbacks are really useful in that regard. And because there's such a small amount, like a 1 Goldback, 1/1000th of a troy ounce, this is like, right now in US economy, this is worth roughly $4.20, $4.25. If you go to goldback.com, you can see their exchange rate. And it's a little different than like bullion gold or coin gold because this utility is greater. And these gold, it's between 2 pieces of polymer. And, you can fold it up, you can put it in your wallet. You can't tear it. Its tear strength is greater than the dollar, paper money. And it holds up well to abuse. There are some people online who have put it in their wallet and taken it out every day for a year and showing how durable they are. And those are fun to watch. Need a little bit more coffee here. Well, that's hot. Whew. Yeah, getting some more. Jason and Terry said they're excited to get more and learn more about it. I'm going to be doing a presentation at the homesteading meeting for North Central Arkansas, South Central Missouri, next in March. So the first Saturday is when those homesteaders get together, and I'll be doing a presentation on Goldbacks at that time. I'll be bringing some to show this weekend or tomorrow, in a few minutes. I got to get going here pretty soon. But Jess just looked out the door. She's like, "Are we leaving or what?" So the Goldbacks are an essential way to have barter systems that last a long time and equal trade, so that the pig and the milk and the cow farmers don't end up getting shafted there's only so much they're going to need, and there's only so much that people are going to be able to provide to them. And having gold is like, here's a 10 Goldback. So this is 1/100th of a troy ounce. So you can see it's quite a bit bigger than the 5, quite a bit bigger than the 1, because there's actually more gold in this note. But it's still about the size of, you know, I don't know, $100 bill. This is about the size of a real paper dollar, the 10 Goldback is. So we've been talking about it with a bunch of different farmers, and we're going to really advocate for using that Goldback in small trade, because it keeps everything sustainable. Yeah, we'll let you know when the next meeting is. The lady who's running this, and it's a new group. They've only met for 2 weeks, or 2 months before this one, and they have a pretty strong following. The expo group that has like 200 people, 200 homesteads or wannabe homesteaders in that group. I help admin that group on Facebook as well. Just started helping with that this week, and it's a good synergy. There's a lot of good people in these different groups, and folks like myself and White Rock and others, while we want to be part of the larger Midwest and, you know, American continent movement of homesteading and developing those friends and relationships, we really need a really local network that we're going to be actually trading with. So it's important to support both, but we really got to better our networking abilities locally to do that. And I think there's a couple of homesteaders that are advocating for that and really pushing that. So it's good to see. Put some sides on the trailer last night after doing spray foaming. My neighbor Mike came home from, like, I was putting the sides on the trailer and I watched him in the background bringing his boat home. I'm like, oh, my boat is sitting right here. Should have been out fishing, but had to get those chores done. It was nice out. The spray foam for link sealing, it only works at certain temperatures, and when the sun's out and hitting the tin, it's a really nice warm temperature to get that bond between the sheet metal and the foam. So yeah, job life. It had to take over. We planted, I got a bunch of videos on, I don't know if it was videos, I think I did the podcast on, we planted the turmeric and lots of different kinds of sunflower and the different melons. I'm going to be starting some corn. I want to try to do the watermelon on the base, corn stalks, and then when the corn stalks start, put the beans up the corn stalks and see if we can do the Native American try-grow thing that I've read about, but I don't know if that'll actually work. This soil here, I don't even know if it'll sustain corn. Corn's kind of a hog when it comes to nutrient needs and watering needs. So I grew up in Wisconsin, and that's all we grew is like corn and soybean. So even though I didn't have a farm up there, I'm very aware of what corn requires. And I do have some of those seeds here. We used to grow a lot of the corn microgreens. Yeah, the Three Sisters method. Thank you. And I also wanted to do, going back, like for the bees, the beehives, I wanted to try to plant a bunch of different flowers so that they always had something to hit, even though we only have, you know, a few acres. It'll take the edge off and give the bees at least a little something. We have the fruit trees. So we have our little orchard that we're starting. So we might get some blossoms this year. We might not. I'm not sure, because these trees are over 2 years old. So maybe, maybe not. We'll see. But I wanted to plant some marigolds and cabbage. I really like cabbage. We got the stuff to make the sauerkraut, German heritage sauerkraut. We do a lot of that. And I got a lot of the fermentation, you know, 5 and 10 gallon tanks for that kind of stuff, the crocks for that. And so we make some wicked good sauerkraut. And I wanted to try to make a lesser blend of sauerkraut to do freeze-dried sauerkraut. Yeah, you can't freeze-dry full-on sauerkraut. It will be way too salty, and I learned that the hard way last year. So this year we're going to try to do like a brine that's that's just barely salty, and then when you dehydrate it, bring it into the freeze dryer, and then reconstitute it, it should be just just perfect. So we'll try that. But the marigolds will help reduce the bugs and moths on the cabbage. So like interplanting stuff that works together is really kind of a focus this year to try and learn how to do a lot of that. This presentation that we're going to in a few minutes talks about that. There's a master gardener presenting to the Homestead group on what grows best here, how to plant things, and the relationship to each other. So I'm going to be trying to take a bunch of notes. I'll try to regurgitate it in future videos, and that's going to be hopefully helpful to folks who are trying to do the same thing. And then we can learn and do it, and then share what we're learning, and then teach others. So we want to try to get as much of that, knowledge out there as we can. So I think I'm going to wrap it up just because we have to leave here. Thank you for watching our videos. This week we had a lot of viewers, which was really great. Didn't have too much more interaction, so the viewing quality didn't go up. So we did hit some good topic, like how the thumbnails were done and the topics. I'm trying to pay attention to what people are wanting to see. I didn't know that those tabs existed in that depth before. YouTube has put out some pretty neat tools in the studio. So channels that are looking for things to talk about and how it relates to things people are searching, they're giving suggestions now that are easier to, forecast and put productions together for. So that's pretty cool. So if there's anything you want to see, feel free to post below, and we'll do our best to do live streams on Saturdays if we can, Saturday mornings. It seems to be the evenings later in the week are all taken by the other homesteaders, and I don't want to compete with the other homesteads. I'm a morning person anyway, so if I'm up at 4 in the morning, maybe I'll do it at 4. Just kidding. That's probably too early. But maybe not. Maybe there's a lot of people that get up early and they're like, meh, watching a live stream and interacting at 4 in the morning, or 5. I don't know. That's probably a bad idea. But yeah, hopefully you guys and gals are growing food this year, getting your seeds ready. For those of you in the southern climates, you should be starting your seeds now if you haven't already. In the northern climates, you should be buying your seeds and getting things ready to start seeding in the indoor greenhouses and your garage greenhouses. If you don't know what a garage greenhouse is, go through my videos in the earlier. I did put a whole garage garden video together of how we did it at our last house. The whole garage, 2.5 car garage, was all one big greenhouse. And we did it with hydroponics and microgreens, and it was a great way to grow food year round in the garage. So trying to keep building those resources. Thank you all for joining. Jason, thank you for being the lonely commenter on the live stream. We hope you guys get back safe, and we look forward to seeing more of you on this channel and through the other channels. God bless you. We're going to end this live stream now. Like, share, subscribe. See you in the next video. Ooh, let's hit the power button. Turn it off. Turn it off. Do the things.